disease among a myriad of issues that's actually challenging the African continent. We saw in 2020 where there was international collaboration to tackle the outbreak of COVID-19. Well, at this particular science forum, I'm actually joined by someone who's involved in tackling the scourge of disease. And I'm joined now by Dr Thabang Mokgethi-Morule to elaborate a bit further about the work she does. Doctor, thank you so much for your time. Can you just tell us a bit more about the work you do, especially with immunodiagnostics and basic research reagents?
Thank you for having me. So I'm from a company called Biotech. We're a life science startup company involved in the production of antibodies. Antibodies are molecules or proteins that are used to detect diseases. So we produce our antibodies using a unique model using chickens. We collect our antibodies from eggs. And with the products that we collect, we purify and we validate them, and we use them for developing diagnostic kits. They're also used in laboratory assays for detecting diseases, as I mentioned. And you can also use them to develop products such as animal feed supplements to support the immune system of animals. And that helps with reducing the use of antibiotics in feed.
Yes. And from which raw material do you formulate some of these products that you use to diagnose the immune system of people and animals?
Eggs, as I mentioned. So we extract our products from egg yolks. What the process involves immunizing a chicken with an antigen or a protein of interest. Say you want to make a diagnostic kit to detect cholera. You would immunize a chicken with a cholera antigen. And so we take advantage of the natural immunity of a chicken. When you get a foreign body introduced into your body elicits an immune response which produces antibody. So if you inject a chicken or immunize a chicken with a cholera antigen, you get an immune response that produces cholera antibodies, which are then deposited into the egg. That's how a chicken protects its chicks in the egg. So we take advantage of that natural process by collecting our antibody of interest from the egg, and we purify it using our standards in the lab, and we are then able to use it for various applications. So the raw material is the actual egg that we derive our antibodies from.
And who are your clients? What kind of organizations would approach you for such services?
So we are looking at manufacturers of diagnostic kits. It can be in various industries, in food science, in the medical science, in environmental sciences, to detect all sorts of pathogens or molecules in the environment. We're also looking at basic science researchers at universities. In the animal feed space, we're looking at farmers, directly to farmers, people who are interested in boosting the animals against immunity against different types of diseases. Like now we're having an outbreak of bird flu. So if you get somebody who's making feed, who's manufacturing feed, and they're interested in developing a product that will be specifically targeting that particular virus, we are able to produce antibodies that can be included into the feed formulation to be able to get that type of product.
Okay. And if maybe there's someone who's inspiring to be in your position and own their own company manufacturing antibodies and everything, where do they start?
Sure. So my background is in immunology. I did my undergrad in molecular cell biology and then went on to do a postgrad in pharmacology and immunology. So for this particular business, you would need to do studies that involve looking at how the immune system works. So I studied neglected tropical diseases and infectious diseases. I worked on tuberculosis, malaria, leishmania, and various diseases to see when you get an infection, how does the body respond to it? Which cells are involved? What do they produce? When do they produce it? And how does that immune response then go on to deal with the foreign body or with the infection. So I would say immunology and just molecular cell biology would be a good place to start.
Just as a parting shot, would you have been involved in the COVID-19 pandemic to try and the tests and the research and all that stuff?
Certainly. That's exactly what we do. Unfortunately, when that happened, we were still quite, we were early stage. Unfortunately, we're not able to participate fully into the programs that we're running then, because to do this type of work, you need certifications, you need licenses to be able to work with animals. You don't just inject things in them. So we were not ready, unfortunately, to be part of that. But that's exactly what we do. We produce molecules that target infection. So for COVID, you're able to get the SARS-CoV virus, or antigen rather, not virus. You immunize our chicken with it, and the chicken would then go on to produce antibodies and deposit it in the eggs. We collect it from the egg, and that product can then be used. You can use it to produce a food supplement that can target COVID virus in your body. You can use it as an antibody reagent itself to do assays in your lab to pick up or to detect the infection. So there's quite a wide range of applications where our process can be used to produce antibodies.
Well, thank you very much. As you heard, that's Dr. Thabang Mokgethi-Morule actually explaining the process she works with in terms of detecting antibodies and trying to detect ailments that might be either in animals or in human beings. That's the work that she actually does here, and she's on display here at the Science Forum at the CSIR. And with that, it's back to studio.